Okay, this is the SOL remediation PowerPoint for the national period from 1789 to 1823. Start off with the development of the first political parties. Almost as soon as the Constitution was signed, what we're going to see is Americans dividing into two different political parties. And when you take the SOL, you need to understand that these are formed because of different views of economic and foreign policy issues. We get two political parties. The first one is the Federalists. When you think of these guys, think of our national government, which is also called the federal government. Federalists are led by John Adams and Hamilton. They believe in a strong national government. Like I say, remember the federal government. They also like a commercial economy. They like industry and trade. And they are supported by people who like this stuff, bankers and businessmen in the Northeast. The other party is the Democratic Republicans. This party is led by Jefferson and Madison. Unlike the Federalists, these guys believe in a weak national government. Jefferson also loved farmers. That's his view of the country. There should be a nation of farmers. And the Democratic Republicans draw their support from farmers and artisans in the South. Why did these parties form? A bunch of different reasons. The biggest reason is the Bank of the United States. Federalists supported this. Democratic Republicans, led by Jefferson, opposed the formation of the Bank of the United States in the 1790s. Also in 1794, the United States signed a peace treaty with Great Britain. This is known as Jay's Treaty. The Federalists were in favor of this. They liked Britain. The Democratic Republicans did not like the British and opposed this treaty. Because of Jay's Treaty, relations with France are going to deteriorate, or get worse, and the Federalists basically caused the United States to go to war with the French unofficially, and the Democratic Republicans opposed this. But the biggest issue is the Bank of the United States, and if you look down below the little cartoon, it gives you the reasons why and how Hamilton and Jefferson differed. So on the left you see Jefferson. Jefferson basically said that if it wasn't in the Constitution you couldn't do it, and Jefferson said nowhere does it mention a bank. If we start reading between the lines, the federal government will usurp more and more power. Hamilton believed in implied powers. Article 1, Section 8 allows Congress to make all laws which shall be necessary and proper. The question is a bank necessary and proper? Hamilton said yes, Jefferson said no. The election of 1800 is a really important election. The Federalist candidate was John Adams. The Democratic Republican candidate was Thomas Jefferson. Jefferson wins, and this is important because it's the first time that a Federalist was not the president. So this is our first election. By this point, we've had 3 elections. Our 4th election sees the Democratic Republicans win, and power is peacefully transferred from one political party to another. This is something we take for granted, but even today, a lot of countries do not have peaceful transfers of power. We are lucky that we do, and it started in 1800. 1803, President Thomas Jefferson purchased the Louisiana Territory, which was bought from France, doubles the size of the United States. For the SOL, you need to know Lewis and Clark, who explore the territory, and they rely on a Native American guide named Sacagawea, who is not only their guide, but she acts as a translator between them and the various Native American tribes that they come into contact with. Right, the Louisiana Purchase is outlined in orange here. As you can see, it roughly doubles the size of the United States when it's purchased in 1803. War of 1812. We have a divided nation. when we go to war against the British. The War of 1812 is kind of the second war that the United States fights against the British, and the United States is divided. Main cause of the war is there's two main causes: the British interfering with American shipping, and the British interfering with American westward expansion. The war is pretty much a tie, but it is an important war because it has several important effects. One effect of the war is a claim that the United States gains to the Oregon Territory, and the Federalist Party, one of our first political parties, one of the first two political parties in the country, disappears. The reason it goes is it opposes the War of 1812, which makes it look not very loyal. Also, Federalists in New England actually talk about leaving the Union during the war. And they have a meeting during the war, the Federalists, and they propose several amendments to the Constitution that would have given New England and given the Federalists more power. However, these were not acted upon. The biggest effect of the War of 1812 is an intense feeling of nationalism after the war. Everyone was proud to be an American after the War of 1812. We're also going to add the Florida Territory after the War of 1812. Andrew Jackson is sent to Florida to stop Native Americans from attacking the United States, and the United States is going to claim Florida from Spain. Monroe Doctrine of 1823 announces to Europe that the American continents, North America and South America, should not be considered for future colonization by any European powers. So here's the Western Hemisphere, here's Uncle Sam basically telling Europe to keep out. And here are the ideas behind Monroe Doctrine. Number one, the American continents should not be considered for future colonization. Number two, nations in the Western Hemisphere were inherently different from those of Europe, republics by nature rather than monarchs. So basically what that means is in Europe we have kings and queens ruling countries. In the Western Hemisphere we do not. Number three, the United States would regard as a threat to its own peace and safety any attempt by the European powers to impose their system on any independent state in the Western Hemisphere. And number four, the United States would not interfere in European affairs. That's the Monroe Doctrine. It's a big keep out sign to Europe.